Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning. And we've got a combination out here today that I'm not exactly sure how or why we haven't done it yet. I guess it's just one that kind of slipped through the cracks a little bit in my notebook or something. I don't know. But it's one that we should see some pretty good looking performance out of. So for the load we brought out here today are some of these. These are the Winchester Longbeard XR 12 gauge 3-inch ounce and 3/4 of 5s. Now this box is the like kind of special edition looking NWTF type of box here. It should just be the box and it shouldn't make any difference to how the actual shells are loaded. I've started to see these boxes in a few places now. So for the next foreseeable few months or year, whatever, this is probably what we're going to actually see. But at the end of the day, the box art should not make a difference in performance. So for the setup we've brought out here today, it's one we haven't seen in, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks now on the channel. That is my Mossberg 835 Ulti-Mag here. But I threw in this choke. This is the stock turkey full choke. It's a 710 constriction, which seems more open, but this is an overboard shotgun to 10 gauge spec. So that does make a little bit more sense at that point. But this turkey full has shown us some really good patterns before. So I'm really looking forward to see what it actually does today. But as for the test, just like usual, I have the target set up down at 40 yards. I also have the chronograph. I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but the box was calling for 1200 feet per second. So we'll actually be able to see through the chronograph how close we get out of this combo to that box posted velocity. So let's get you guys a view of the target. I'll head up to 40 yards and take the shot. We'll look at our chrono real quick and then we'll go see how they performed. So I've got some pretty high hopes for this setup, but let's go over here and shoot it and see what it actually does for us. Okay, so that round gave us 1295 through the chronograph. Remember, the box was calling for 1200, so that is 95 feet per second above the box claim. But with us shooting Longbeards all the time, it's definitely not unusual to see a little bit above the box velocity from our tests anyway. So I don't think there's anything too out of the ordinary here. It is moving a little bit more towards the faster side, especially for a load of 5s. I would like it to be high 1100s personally, but either way, it's nothing out of the ordinary. But how did it actually shoot down range? Let's go check it out and see. Alright, so now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and this is the result that we got. Now, before I even say anything here, we do have a dead turkey. There are 2 or 3 in the spine and a couple more in the brain, so that would have absolutely been a dead bird. But just look at this pattern here. That is undoubtedly the worst Longbeard XR pattern we've ever had. I mean, that would be an excellent looking waterfowl pattern, but we're hunting turkeys, we're not hunting ducks. So this is nothing short of just an absolute disappointment here. I mean, there's shot covering this entire paper here. It's just all over the place. It's pretty even across the paper, but there's no core area to it at all. That is just, that's terrible no matter what way you look at it. For a turkey load and for a Longbeard load, you just can't have that. So that brings up the question, are these shells loaded a little bit differently because of the box being a little bit different? Or is this just a case of some rumors I've heard recently about the Longbeard loads not being the best quality controlled shell out there and stuff like that? I guess either one could kind of be the case here, but this is definitely not even close to a Longbeard load. If somebody just showed you a picture of that pattern and asked you what kind of shell it was, I guarantee you that you probably wouldn't say a Longbeard load. So with that being said, should we retest that combo and see if it happens again, or try to run these Longbeards in the different box through some different chokes and see if we get a similar result, or what? I really don't know on this one. That is just terrible. That's not at all what I wanted to or expected to see. Okay, and this is the wad out of that shell. And nothing out of the ordinary here, I wouldn't say. It is the same, or it at least appears to be the same, Longbeard XR wad that they've used before. I mean, it feels the same, it looks the same, and everything. So nothing out of the ordinary here, I wouldn't say. I mean, if anything, if I wanted to be really nitpicky, maybe there's a little bit less of the dusty buffer material stuff stuck down in the bottom. but there is still some of it down there. So everything looks the same, really. I don't see anything out of the ordinary, but I really don't know on this one. Clearly something happened here to where this pattern completely blew itself apart, I'd say. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about that performance right there? That is a dead bird, but it's nothing short of a disappointment at the same time. That is, like I said earlier, probably the worst Longbeard pattern that we've ever seen here on the channel. I've never seen that poor performance out of a Longbeard load, even when I've ran it through stock full chokes and modified chokes and stuff like that even. It's always been better than that. So, at the end of the day, what do you guys think happened here? Do you think it was just an unfortunate case of the worst possible load and choke combo? Or do you think the shells were loaded a little bit differently because of something to do with that 50th anniversary load or box or whatever? I don't know. Leave your thoughts in the comments. But with that being said, I'm going to jump back to getting all the normal testing done for you guys, and we've got some hunting stuff coming up as well. And if you would like to see some of that stuff in advance or sneak peeks or stuff like that, then I'll leave the Instagram link in the description as always. Feel free to go over there if you would like to. And on that note, I'm going to jump back to it. So I'll see y'all in the next one.